Hey boss, have you seen the animation of season 2?
Yeah, so?
It's pretty bad. Did you have anything to do with it?
Yeah, I put all the budget to the final episode.
What? Why? But what about the fans?
Screw the fans!
That doesn't sound very smart coming from you.
Really? If you think about it, if they were real fans, they wouldn't mind going through the bad animation just to get to the end.
That's asking a lot. What if they stop watching?
Who cares? If they can make it through the first half of the season, then they're good enough to be our fans. If not, they could go themselves.
Man, you're nuts.
Think about it. I'm just training their endurance. It has a good story but bad animation. They only need to endure the first half. Second half is gold. They'll come out stronger fans after this. There are so many good stories with bad animation. They should learn to appreciate the story more.
Sure, boss, whatever you say.
Now get back to training.
Blue Lock Season 2. Is it a watch or a pass? And what tier does it land on? It's soccer! Or, for the rest of the world, football. The beautiful game. It's a game that forces you to build up a play and adapt with your team, over and over just to get a single point. It's a lot of hard work to make opportunities just to get that one goal, and fans respond to this. People can see the tactics played and how good the players are at their roles. It's exhilarating to see all those elements finally resulting in a goal, and at the moment that score is made, you get a feeling of euphoria and celebrate along with the team. Well, it's the biggest sport in the world for a reason. In Japan, too, it's one of their most popular sports, along with baseball, tennis, golf, and sumo wrestling. In the anime, they mention that Japan's teams are world class, but even with this, they can't win the World Cup. If you don't know, the World Cup is the World Football Tournament, on par with the Super Bowl. The World Cup is dominated by European and South American countries. The anime implies that Japanese people are too mild-mannered. Japanese football teams are good at teamwork and fulfilling their roles, but they can't score much. You see, strikers are the ones doing the goals. To be a world-class striker, you need to take the moment into your hands and attack. To make opportunities for a goal, you have to outplay the defenders and force a goal with everything you have. That's where the problem is, though. Japan has a very polite society, and they can't produce much of this type of people. They needed to have more ego. That's where Blue Lock comes in. This is a program that selects the finest soccer players in Japan that have the potential to be the best striker of the country. This is the whole plot of Season 1. They find the would-be strikers and make them compete against each other, like a battle royale. It was awesome! I mean, the program forces these guys to forget about being nice. The idea is to find the moment to strike and take it for yourself. But if you can't find that chance, you make it happen. You need to anticipate your opponent's play and act before them to make an opportunity for yourself. And you have to get along with your teammates who all think the same way. They all want to score a goal for themselves. We follow Isagi as he adapts to survive Blue Lock and become the best striker. He has to constantly think of ways to outplay his opponents, and he has to mix his skills with the different abilities of his teammates. It's so cool to see him evolve and get better. He's like a detective, but on the go, because he has to figure out what the other team is planning as they play, and then come up with a tactic to outmaneuver them. Teams are formed and then broken up and shuffled to form new teams. They're always on edge as they compete against each other. Each player has his own strengths. They have to adjust to each individual. So at the end of Season 1, it turns out that Isagi isn't the best striker in Blue Lock. It's a player named Rin Itoshi. In Season 2, Blue Lock is in danger of closing down. To fix this, they need to win against Japan's national team under the age of 20, or the U20. The U20 team is, in theory, the best young players of Japan. With them is Rin's brother, Sai Itoshi. Sai is probably the best player in Japan. So in Season 2, they use everything they learned in Season 1. After constantly playing against each other, the players of Blue Lock form a team to replace Japan's U20. Season 1 was amazing, I gotta say. Following Isagi as he levels up really gets you involved with the story. Man, these guys can analyze like supercomputers on the field. There's so much thought going into every play as they play them. Isagi anticipates this guy's most likely move and then the next move. And when the goal finally comes, you feel that sense of accomplishment as you watch it. But Season 2 had a rough start. There's been some production issues with the animation. The first 5 episodes felt like a PowerPoint presentation. There's barely any animation, but when the big match started, it got better. Well, even with the bad animation, the game was still great to follow. They're back to analyzing and countering their opponents until the goal arrives. The players combine their skills to surprise the enemy. Sai is really intimidating, but the Blue Lock team is also strong after all they went through in Season 1. Everyone is like high level now, and it feels amazing when they get a goal. The story is really good, and later in the season, the animation gets better and better. The players have their own backstories. We get to know their past and what motivates them. They have their dreams, and you can see how much they chase their dreams in the field. The Itoshi brothers in particular have a complicated backstory. Rin really hates what his brother did, and he's letting it out on the match. And Sai is like a psychopath. I guess you don't become great if you don't have some screws loose in your head. If you read the manga, you'll see that their whole family is kinda nuts. But the whole Blue Lock thing is crazy if you think about it. They're trained to follow their ego, and no one can get in the way of that ego. Yep, that's pretty insane. Anyway, the story is more important than the animation to me, but it's really distracting if you don't get the animation right. It's still so good, but the first half of the season was pretty bad. So yeah, feels like it could have been really great without the issues. Wasted potential. Blue Lock Season 2 is a B. It's still a watch though. Did the animation bother you? What do you think? Thank you for watching!